Aloha mai kako e na hoa makamaka, e na hoa kipa, aloha mai e na ohana, aloha mai a kako, aloha. Just try that again. Hanaho, hanaho. When we greet you with aloha, it is always customary to answer back. You hear, when someone says to you aloha, and you say aloha.
Aloha.
Aye. Oh well. Wait. That is the way of our culture, because aloha means hello, it means goodbye, but it also means love and respect. So in my greeting to you, I extend to you my love and respect to you, and it is customary to also reciprocate that. I am pleased to be here. I'm very humbled and honored to be here in front of all of you, and I appreciate the opportunity to accompany the story that has been put out, that story which you will all see today. It is the documentary film called Kumu Hina. It is this much in the story of my personal life. Please watch and listen intently, because when we're done, I want you to feel free to ask any kinds of questions that you want. I'm here for you. I'm not here for me, I am here for you. And therefore, if you have something that you're wondering, something that you're thinking, you may want to note it down, or you just want to make a mental note of it, but do feel free to make sure you ask me, because our time spent here today is about making you a stronger and a much more knowing person in this little 1.5 hour time frame that will be here. So mahalo Quinn, mahalo for organizing this event, mahalo to the rest of the Kumu who have also made this day possible, and I look forward to seeing you all after the film. Aloha. Aloha. Mahalo. I hope that you all enjoyed the film. And on to your questions. Did you guys enjoy the film? Yes. Is there anyone? I usually get the yes, but I have been to one class so far where there was one person who did not like the film. Is there anyone in here who didn't like the film? And if you didn't, I applaud you for being able to say, no, I didn't like it. Is there anyone in here? Okay. All right, so tell me, why did you like the film? What questions might you have that I can answer for you? Oh, great audience, quiet audience. Don't be shy, because if I'm not the one that's going to lose out. If you have a question and are too afraid or too shy to ask it, you're the one that's going to lose out.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what was one of your biggest challenges that you faced while transitioning?
What was one of my biggest challenges that I faced while transitioning? Meaning transitioning from my family's son to their daughter.
Yes.
There were several challenges. First and foremost was the challenge of when I finally pushed myself over the line, what would be my family's reaction? What would they do? How would they treat me? What would they say? And thus, when I think about it, it was a very slow and sometimes painful process, because each day there's just this, it's like a caterpillar that just kind of goes like this and like this, and if you look down there, it's really far away, and you wonder to yourself, when will the caterpillar get there? But that's how it was for me. So it wasn't where I looked one way today and then tomorrow I looked like something else. It was really, if some of you are familiar with videography and doing still frames, time-lapse frames. That's what it was like for me. And I did that because I wanted to ease my family into embracing me. But then again, it's like taking a knife and slowly cutting at something rather than just slice, cut it, and open it up and be done with it. Or it's like if you have a piece of meat on the plate, rather than having a sharp knife and going slice and cut your piece, it's sort of taking a butter knife and eventually you get down to it and you cut it away. Another challenge was that because I was not confident enough to just make the jump and stand on the other side like that, it became a challenge for people that I worked with to know how to address me. What is the proper pronoun? And Hawaii is a small place, so sometimes, you know, when you know somebody for a long time, they know you as this, by this name, by this pronoun, and then they see you in this slow process, so they're not really getting it clearly in their head, well, where are you, or where was I at the time? So I think that that was one of the major issues that I faced. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Why did you want to ask me that?
I'm from Canada, and in Canada I have a lot of friends, you know, who are queer or transgender, and each of them have their own different experiences, so I just wanted to see what yours is like.
Yes, well, that was my experience, but again, that was my experience because I lived at home, and I began the process of transition while I was still taking care of my grandmother, my father's mother. My father had a clear expectation of me, and that expectation was to do two things: finish school, my time at the University of Hawaii Manoa, and to take care of my grandmother. If I was able to do that, he had no problem. I lived at home, he provided for us, he paid for my car and the insurance and gas, and I took care of my grandmother. And considering what comparable outside cost is to have someone else take care of an elderly person, you probably saved a lot of money. But there's, I know from being, my father's Chinese, and so in Asian culture, we don't throw our elders away, we respect them and honor them, and we keep them and we take care of them. And same in Hawaiian and Pacific Island culture, we take care of our elders. It's foreigners that send their parents away, and you go to an old folks home, you know, which is contradictory to who we are. So, and understandably, to live in the life that this is a Western style of living. So it becomes even more challenging for the Pacific Islander, Hawaiian, and the Chinese person. Imagine being both. And imagine how much of a conflict it is to know that the lifestyle we live, I'm in that life right now. You know, I brought my mother, Georgette, she's here with me, she's there in the back. For me, there's no such thing as I'm gonna throw my mom to an elderly care home, because I know that my mother wouldn't like it, and I wouldn't want her to be there knowing that I should be the one taking care of her. However, the problem is when you have to work and be in a Western economic system and pay exorbitant prices here in our own homeland. You know, there are so many things that are problematic about being that way. The more and more I think about it, the more upset it gets me. So anyway, I am living that example right now. Yes. Next question.
Brenda has a question.
Yes, aloha.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Mahalo.
So you talked about the caterpillar journey and how it turns into butterflies. what advice would you have for people in the LGBTI community that they're still in that caterpillar stage and their family may not be as welcoming as maybe your family was at once?
Admittedly, my family wasn't necessarily as welcoming, but their silence, for some of my members of my family, their silence was their implicit acceptance. My advice to anyone who is dealing with any kind of emotional or mental issues about anything LGBT, if you're questioning yourself, if you are looking at who you are, how you want to express yourself, how you want to articulate yourself for male or female, I would say the following words that were told to me by a dear friend. And she said this to me on a trip to Hokkaido. She said, "Live your truths." And so that I interpret to mean, be truthful to yourself. If my parents' expectation of me is to get some kind of decent way to earn a living and to take care of myself, to provide for myself what I need to survive, to be able to be a good son or daughter, a good child in the family, to be able to fulfill my responsibilities, that means that I need to be able to function well in the environment that I'm going to be in. And that means that I have to feel good about myself. That means that I have to be responsible to myself. And for example, if I had stayed my family's son and done what they might have expected their son to do and go out, find a girl, marry the girl, try to have some sort of family, when that wasn't what I was feeling was going to be my road, and nor would that have been a good thing to do in terms of whoever it is I'm supposed to be marrying or seeing, because that's not fair to that person. Why would I want to lie to that person and be someone that I'm not, or be someone that they think I am when I'm not that person? So again, live your truths. Be honest with yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have to live with yourself, not your parents, not your family. And it takes time. And I can only speak from a half Asian and a half Polynesian Pacific Islander perspective. They may take time to get over it, and you may find that they may never get over it fully. But if they actually take the time, and if you give them reason to look at you through our cultural eye, in other words, don't look at you for the Western way of thinking. Western way of thinking is, how good a job can you get? How much money can you make? How far up the social ladder can you climb? Those are some of the pinnacles of Western living. At least that's what's put out to us. How much bling and nice kind of clothes and fashion and all of this kind of stuff can you have? Well, it doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter what color your hair is, short or long. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. If you're not a good person on the inside, you're not. If you are a selfish person on the inside, you are selfish. And that same selfish person will not turn around and take care of their mother or father. They will not turn around and make time for their family. They will not turn around and help someone else in need of help. So, again, live your truths and be honest and be responsible to yourself. If you're responsible to yourself, then maybe you may have a chance to be someone that can contribute to the life of someone else. And for me, it is okay. I am dealing with this issue right now in my own house. And I have to hear this at age 43. Oh, well, you know, you have to do this and you have to do this and you're still living off of us and and if I allowed that to bring me down, I'd really be in a shitty place. But it doesn't. And I don't care. You know, I would rather keep my dignity. You can kick me out of the house now, and I'll still survive. I'm dealing with this issue right now of not my father, but my own family circle, and I don't like it, and I don't appreciate it, because they do not see me for other things that I have achieved. I take pride in the fact that it's my honor to serve my mother. It is my honor to look after her. That's my privilege. It's not somebody else's obligation. It's mine. It's my responsibility that I may not be making a lot of money. In fact, I'm not making any money right now. But I'd rather be someone who lives humbly and by what I can, rather than be someone who makes money and didn't care about things that I was raised to care about. So, yes, live your truths. Be honest to yourself. When you be honest with yourself and you fulfill the obligations that your family or your immediate circles may have of you, that may be your ticket to that level of acceptance that you need, or that level of understanding that you're looking for. Hopefully. Mahalo. Any other question? Yes.
I thought the film was amazing. You're amazing. I have a question. I'm sure you must have seen the film many times, presentations. Does it still impact you? How much of a difference that you made? Or do you feel you've made an impact?
By the fact that I'm still being asked to come and speak on behalf of the film's story.
And your story?
Yes, my story. I'm still humbled by the fact that people still want to see it. People still want to show the film. People still feel that there's a timeless value that will prompt them to show the film again. So I'm very appreciative of just the people sitting down and watching. Just the fact that you made time to sit here and experience the film means a lot to me, because then you've allowed it to impact you. How much impact, how little or much, that's up to you, the individual, what you would like to feel after. But you could have been someone that immediately said, oh, I'm not watching this, I'm leaving. And you could have gone, but you all stayed. So I'm humbled by everyone continuing to hopefully benefit, at least in some small way, from the film. Mahalo. Yes?
Can you talk about the different places where you have gone to spend the film? I know it's been at a lot of different film festivals.
This film has traveled to different countries. It has traveled through different places in the continental United States, of which I will indicate all to you all that that is not my mainland. Hawaii is my mainland. I do not call continental US mainland because it's not my mainland. It's just not. And I am a politically enlightened individual. Thank you. If you guys can laugh louder, it's okay. It has traveled to different countries. For me, the most significant, this film has traveled to Japan. It has traveled to the Philippines. It has traveled, oh my gosh. I can't keep track of where this film has been. But for me, most significantly, it has traveled to the homeland of my father's family. and that is mainland China. Now, if I were to say mainland China, I am half Chinese. So I can say mainland China, and then it would be appropriate. And visiting the place that my ancestors come from, the area that my family comes from is beautiful. I don't know why they'd ever want to leave there. In fact, I could live there. Sometimes I think to myself, well, I should just pack things up over here in Hawaii and just move. But I have things to do here, you know. But I am, to a certain degree, oriented to what I understand as Chinese culture, Chinese expectation, and Chinese way of life, because I grew up half the time in my father's household, and there were many things that were Chinese about it. Tea ceremony at New Year, creating certain foods. Are most of the students in here from Japan? Japan? Land of the rising sun. Mahalo. Korea? Mahalo. China? Hello, family. Hello. Hello. Hawaii. Small corner of Japan. Aloha. Continental US. Somewhere in the 48. Aloha. Yes. The film has traveled to so many places, but when I took it to China, that was really an eye-opener, because as it was told to me, the organizers of the LGBT Film Festival really had to keep it on the down low, because the Chinese government, as again it was told to me, does not approve of showing LGBT films by and large in the mainstream public and showcasing it in a positive way. There are many Chinese, from the stories that we heard and that we were told, now correct me if I'm wrong, people from the homeland, the mainland, that many LGBT, especially the L and the G, the lesbian and the gay, they will look for one another and marry because it is the expected thing to do for family, but they will find a different way to continue on in their own personal pursuit of happiness in life. So for me, that was an eye-opener, because the coordinators of the film festival were targeted and told that their film festival will be shut down if they do not stop showing those kinds of things. So everything that we did, one day we would get on a train, everybody was expected to be at the train station by a certain time, get on that particular train, buy the ticket for it, get on. We were all given the flash drive. Everybody had to bring their laptop, plug in the flash drive, and as soon as the train started, we watched the film. When we get to our next destination, the film is done. We all take separate cars. We went to the next destination, watched another film. You know, we just kept moving, so it would be quite difficult to track where this film festival was being held. And the next place, by the end of that day, was down in somebody's small community business organization basement, and really in their basement. You know, that's how it was in order for them to show all of these films. So quite an interesting thing. It's not how it is so out and about in America, but I will say that in some ways I understand a little bit of that mindset. For me, I have an issue with the LGBT movement as it is promoted through Western culture. The LGBT movement that we see here is denoted by wearing somebody's genitalia on your forehead. To say to someone, hi, I'm gay or I'm lesbian, it doesn't say anything about you as a person. It doesn't say anything about you, what your skills, what your ability, what your talent, what your desires are. And when I say desires, meaning the things that you'd like to do, it talks about the most personal and intimate part of you that really from the Hawaiian culture perspective, we have a word. Do you guys know what that is? You know what that word is? Begins with an M. Maha'oi. Everybody say the word maha'oi.
Maha'oi.
Maha'oi. Someone who is maha'oi is someone who puts their nose into your business when it's not their business. And it's out of place. It's not appropriate. So it's maha'oi. We're maha'oi. Meaning, it's not my business to know what your personal relationships are. You determine for yourselves, young people, who you like, why you like them, if you're going to engage with them personally, behind closed doors on your time. That's up to you, not up to me. And again, that's how I grew up, understanding that, you know, certain elements of your personal business, nobody else has any business in. So maha'oi, go away. Same-sex marriage. When same-sex marriage came up last year, I finally stood up and said something because I felt that it was not appropriate for even our local and our Hawaiian people to be out there saying, oh, this is the traditional understanding of Ohana. Ohana. I am a fluent speaker of my language. Those people were not. How do you know what is the meaning of Ohana? How do you know the principles of Ohana? Ohana is family. Ohana is not Western nuclear family. It is inclusive, extended family. And even when somebody says they are somebody's hanai, they are a part of that circle. Somebody who has been accepted and nurtured and sometimes physically adopted into the family. That is a family member. Whether you are a kane or whether you are wahine. And regardless of whether your partner is kane or wahine, or both, that's still your family member. And to separate oneself from one's family is not the understanding of Ohana. So when I heard the word Ohana being used, I said, how inappropriate. Heva, heva, heva. You know, and I could just hear my own family say, Ohana means that you are connected. But your connections are established through your genealogy. They are established through your fulfillment of your kuleana. Right, Maya? When you travel far away from home and your Ohana needs you, whether the situation is good for you or not here at home, you came home to fulfill your kuleana. Why? Because you are Ohana. It doesn't matter. All the other stuff, the physical. Doesn't matter who's your personal life. It matters that you came home to take care of your responsibility. That means you still have aloha and humility in front of the family. My point to the same-sex marriage, 10 years prior when same-sex marriage first came to Hawaii, I was asked, Kumu Hina, do you support that? And I said, no. For what? I don't support that. That is a government institution, and it is based on a politic that I don't support. I support a politically free and independent Hawaii that is guided and driven by Hawaiian philosophy, principle, and understanding. I don't support American mentality that does this kind of thing, compartmentalize everything and say, oh, well, you're gay, or well, you're lesbian, as if gay or lesbian had anything to do with what you can do and what your contributions are. And so I said, no, I don't support same-sex marriage. And furthermore, I should know better. The person that I walk into my house with better be someone that I intend to stay with and have a meaningful relationship with, because to have the guts and the courage and the confidence to bring somebody in front of your parents and your grandparents means to tell them, this is somebody that I'm connected to. If not, you don't bring your opala to the family. You keep them away from the family. You only bring in the person that is worthy of your family's consideration. That's my understanding of both my Pacific Island Polynesian culture and Asian culture. So Yes, I didn't support same-sex marriage until they started to talk about it culturally. When I first brought my first long-term Kane into the house, he and I were together for 5 years. He was a big Samoan man. And my father looked at me and said, "And who is that? And how long is he staying?" I said, "Oh, that's my friend. He's going to stay with us for a while." And he ended up being with me for 5 years. So I wasn't just bringing any old person on up into the house. And he did tell me, he said, "Well, the next time you think you're moving somebody, you better ask me first, yeah? But it's either you do it or you don't." And I was still fulfilling my responsibility, so naturally my father didn't say anything. He wasn't going to lose his caregiver. But that's how I felt. And before I take the next question, I will simply say Hawaii is my piko, it is my umbilical cord, it is my homeland, it is my mainland. It is that which it is the lens of Hawaii, the lens of my language and my culture that I look through life. So all of you who are wearing glasses, if it's glasses for reading, it helps you to see. If it is sunglasses, it puts a shade. It might be a dark shade, it might be a rose-colored shade, or whatever color it is. That's the influence it will have upon your eyes, how you see the world. So the glasses that I wear are the Hawaiian understanding, as well as the Asian understanding. So that's how I ended up feeling the way I do. Next question. Any other question? Nothing now. And I say that because the person that I am now, people might think that let's say Quinn. I'll use you as my example. If I met Quinn and Quinn didn't like me because I am the person that I am, and he tried to do something to prevent me from getting ahead, to get in my way of my success, or to put me down emotionally, mentally, or physically, prevent me from doing what I need to do, then I feel sorry for him. He's the one going to have a problem, not me. That's how it's in my head. Nobody will make me feel bad for being myself. Nobody should make you feel bad for being yourself. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. I just told you earlier, live your truths. So, you know, in the school that I was teaching at, Halal Lokahi, in the earlier years, there was a parent. And it was a father of a young boy who came and told our director of the school, he said, "Oh, I don't know if I want that one over there," meaning me. "I don't know if I want that one over there to teach my son." Oh, really? Wow, whatever. Suit yourself. But your son is going to lose out, not me. You know, my responsibility to my students is to help them be the best that they can be. Another example. A boyfriend of a mom who had her 2 children in my school, 3 children she had in my school. And he came up to me one day while there were all of us parents and staff and students, and we were doing some kind of activity, and so he says, oh, we were waving signs on the road because it was charter school week. So we would go with our sign, waving to the people on the road, saying thank you for supporting charter schools. And he had his sign and he came to stand next to me. He said, "Oh, how do you work like that?" What do you mean? How do you work like that? I still don't understand what you mean. What's your point? That's what I asked him. And he said, "Well, don't the kids know what you are?" And I didn't say anything at that moment, but I thought to myself, how rude. Who are you? You are nobody to me. You are rubbish to me. How dare you ask me that? You know, as I said, I am my family's child. I come from this family, I come from this land. I have a history, I have a role, and I have my skill and ability. If you are asking me a question based on my skill, my ability, or my talent, and what I'm doing with the kids, then okay. But he's asking me, how do I teach, because he was focusing on transgender. And I thought to myself, oh, it's kind of rubbish kind of people asking me that. And I said, and that's why I put my hand up and I said, no, move away. Go away from me, because you better know that my children only know me as Kumu Hina. The young ones, that's all they know. Do they know that their teacher has a low voice? Yes. Do they need to know what I have or have not between my legs? No, then that's not your business. That's not their business. That's just not appropriate. He doesn't know my life, no matter what I have done to myself. And then, and I also said, the older kids, they understand. They know, they're older. They're not dumb. They're smart. They're probably smarter than you. Yeah. And then he came back to me a couple weeks later at another school-oriented activity, and then he said, oh, can we be friends? You know, that kind of friend to call me up late in the night? For what? And when he asked me that, I just told him, get away from me now. Get away from me before I become violent with you for asking me this dumb kind of question. I will not deal with you. Beat it. You're rubbish. You know how insulting. If that's all he wanted, if he wanted to connect me with like that, then he should have said so. And what made him think that I would even want to cross that line, because he's supposed to be going out with the mother of one of my students? Rubbish. How rude. But yes, I have experienced this as an issue, because people have looked at me. I have gone down the road with my students all behind me, and we were marching 10,000 people in the streets of Waikiki on a political march, and I could see certain people in the crowd say, oh, that's the Mahu, that's the Mahu. And I couldn't hear them, I could read their lips. Mahu. And they were pointing like this at me. And I saw them, I made eye contact with them. That's the kind of thing that I've experienced. But you know what? It's great. Because people who are not born Mahu are the unfortunate ones. I'm lucky. I am blessed. I have the insight and the ability of Kane and Wahine. So if you were born kind of regular or normal, well, okay. If you're born ordinary, some mundane, you know, because I was blessed with this duality in my life, I have more responsibility in my life. That's the price. And that's just it. So I got lucky. If I don't consider myself lucky, I'm going to be in for a real hard time. Any other question?
Why?
Who? Yeah, what's your question? Yes.
What was it like making the film?
Well, I try to be open and honest about my life. So I just said, okay, well, if you want to follow me, I'm going to the bathroom now. Okay. And they said, oh, just turn the microphone off. Right? Everybody here goes to the bathroom. Right? Everybody over here hopefully take a shower. Everybody here has personal hygiene. It's no different. So following me around, I felt for them, because sometimes my husband was the one that got really irritated with them being around. Yeah, he's the moody one. He's the hard one to work with sometimes. And as you saw, he was himself. You know that his rah rah rah, fuck yeah. That's him. That's him. He showed his true colors. Yeah. We've had many of those days. Fuck you, no, fuck you. Yeah. So the relationship isn't all sweet smelling and full of pretty flowers. It comes with a lot of the other stuff too. It's no different from any other relationship. Any of you have a relationship in here? You have those days? Every day. Yeah. Right. Yes, for those of you not born and raised here, local people have a certain way of saying it. When you say it like this, fuck you, you're okay. Then when you hold it out and say, fuck you, you better watch out. And then when it gets shut, no, fuck you. That's when it's, okay, it's on now. Right? Right. You have to listen to how it's said. Or when you smile and go, fuck you. There's a difference. Yeah? But yeah. Following me around was okay. And the only reason why I felt it was okay was because it's going to come up with a film. I don't want to come watch the film and have people think, oh, that's her story, and it was a lie. Everything you saw was real, except for the one part that you folks saw when he gave me the birthday cake. Yeah, the birthday cake was not supposed to be birthday cake. I told him I don't want anything from my birthday. You saw how he went to go look for me the what is that thing? And he said, oh, expensive, $7. I didn't need that. All I said was, I want a banana pie. Not banana cream pie, banana pie. And what did he do? He forgot where I bought the banana pie from, and he and the producers of the film, they ended up going by chocolate cake. I didn't want chocolate cake. That's the only thing that was not quite true. I wanted banana pie. It's a $12 banana pie. No, they went to go buy a $20 chocolate cake. Oh, wasting time, wasting money. And it wasn't that good. Yeah, wasn't that good either. That's why when he kissed me there, and I thought to myself, yeah, you wait. The cameras are rolling, wait. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't like this cake. Any other question? Yes?
One of the difficult things you face so during the time you build a relationship or fall in love with your husband? Because I heard with the immigration, do you have some problem?
Oh, no. All of my documentation was in order. My marriage to him, all my papers say female, all of his papers say male. We married in Fiji. I left him there and I came home to work on immigration. And I waited for about a year for the immigration process. It was expensive. I didn't necessarily have too much of an issue, and I didn't wait for same-sex marriage to be legal here. You know, I wasn't about to let all the issues of the people in government over here until they got over themselves and figured out what to do to stop me from doing what I want to do. There's a way to do that. So if you know, I'm not sure what your life will be like, whether you will finish your school and go home, and I don't know what your life will be like if you go home or if you decide to stay here, but the point is, if you have a goal, put your mind and your heart to it. See it, envision it. The word is postulate. Keep it there. Hold it there. Don't take your mind away from it. Just see it, see it, see it. Go for it and do everything that you need to do to prepare for that to be a part of your life. But work hard for it. Any other question? Yes?
me ko ikueke.
Oh, he ha ko umamana o e pile no ke la Hawaiiloana me ka ipu heke. What are my thoughts about the sign, the Hawaiiloana, the crack with my hula drum? That was a multi-layered thing. There was a lot. So you saw it was a big crack. There was a lot. There are a lot of things that have come to me, and you know, personally, my marriage has endured a lot, more than I wanted, and my husband is only around me part-time. You know, I told him, okay, you need to go live with our friends. I'm gonna take care of mom. Just come visit me. My marriage has endured a lot. I left Halaulokahi eventually. Obviously, that was way before I left Halaulokahi, but as things came down the line, I left the school. Things changed in my life. There were a lot of things that came, but it definitely was a sign that I better pay attention, because hang on. Life is going to give you some challenges. For a hula teacher, that is a challenge. When your hula drum cracks or breaks, how do you go on stage and chant and keep time for your students? You can't, unless you figure out a way around that. So in life will give you challenges. If you tell yourself that you cannot or will not overcome the challenges, and then you say, oh, poor me, well, that's your fault. Figure out a way. Do something about it. Do something to try to put yourself in a better situation. Even if you don't like it, even if you think you don't have any control over it, deal with it. Pick yourself up again. Take a deep breath and keep going. If you let life's problems come in, hello. Go say hello to your auntie. If you allow your life to just give you all the problems that, oh, well, that's your problem. All I can tell you is get over it. Allow it. If you have to cry, cry. It's okay. If you have to talk to someone, talk to them, and pick yourself up and go. Don't let yourself be held back by all kinds of issues and problems, because they probably aren't worth the time that you take to think about it. Just roll with it and go. Just like water. Nothing can stop water. You might be able to hold it, but water will find the crack. Water can overflow. Water can flow around. Water can dissolve. Any other question? Okay, so I heard from the Hawaiians in the group. I heard from a few of the Asians in the group. Any of the continental US folk want to ask me a question? Yes?
I was really interested in your work with the governor-appointed position to take care of the PBD.
Thank you for asking me about that. My position is like any other council, board, or commission. The position is appointed by the governor and then confirmed by the members, certain members of the Senate. I am still the chair for that. It has afforded me the opportunity to work with community, to work with the business sector, and to work with the political sector. So I'm very thankful for that experience. It's made me much stronger. It has given me the ability to sit at someone's business table and say that to them directly, I agree with you, or I don't agree with you. Anything else in particular you'd like to know about that?
I was interested in the actual work. I saw you in the trenches, so to speak.
Oh, well, I believe that to understand what any activity requires, of anyone. People who work in the trench, archaeologists, laborers. How would I be able to comment on something? How would I be able to give my opinion and my thoughts on something that I don't know anything about? You know, how would I know what it looks like when they go digging into the earth and if they found a burial? How would I know? All we think we know is in our head and maybe something we watched in a movie. But unless we go out there and physically stand over there, watch, they dig, they dig, they dig, okay, and then they go down and they look. That's where the learning comes from, hands-on. And that's why I put myself out there at the beginning of the rail project, because certain excavations were of high interest with regards to potential burials. And I learned a lot. It's invaluable. It allowed me to comment with greater level of insight. And when people say, oh, you guys don't know what you guys are doing, you guys are just digging all that stuff up, you guys are going to dig up all the hundreds and thousands of bones. No. If you had taken your happy self over there and sat down and watched them, they went very carefully, these big machines, and then after they got to a certain level, they went in with a shovel, and then they go in with the small little things, a little treadle, and they go like this, and they're looking carefully. You can't just surmise, and neither would I accept someone to come in front of the council, criticize me, criticize the council members, and criticize the project, and say, oh, you guys are doing this and you're doing that. Were you there? No. So that's why I went, because I didn't want somebody to say, oh, well, you don't know. Well, you don't know. If you don't go out there, you'll never know. So yes, that's why I went. And it was wonderful to go. I got a chance to meet with people that otherwise I would have never met. Any other question? Yes?
Have you kept in touch with Honolulu?
No, I have not. Ho'onani, before I left Halaolokahi last year, a couple of months before the school closed, and Ho'onani left the year before that. So she continued on to a different school, and I hope she's doing well. I don't know what her life's entails are, and if she reconnects with me later on, fine, good. If she doesn't, I wish her well. And is she still in the middle? I don't know, and it's not my business. If she's still in the middle, then I hope that her experiences and her teachings at our school help her. If she's still in the middle, I hope that she has enough tucked away into her understanding to remember that she came from a school that empowered her to just be herself, fulfill her kuleana, her responsibilities. I just saw this something upstairs. Take the elevator and then you look right outside, and in Japanese writing it says responsibility. I said, oh, how wonderful. Because then, you know, it reminded me, same word in Hawaiian, kuleana. Everybody say that, repeat after me, kuleana. 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 Kuleana means responsibility. It is your duty, it is your obligation. And I know that every Asian culture in here knows it. Hawaiians know it. Everyone 48, I know that, you know, you've got a good handle on that. So that's one of the highlights of our film, is fulfilling kuleana. And that's where acceptance and understanding comes from. Any last questions? Before Quinn comes to take the microphone away. And is there any, if you're thinking that you may want to ask me away because you're too shy, I'm going to kind of shy away from that because I have to take care of Mom. So are you sure? No questions? Sure. Not burning to ask anything else. Quinn, did you have any other questions? Or staff? From the Kumu? Yes?
How can we support what you're doing long term?
How can you?
How can we support you going forward? How can we keep in touch? How can we just, stay connected?
Facebook.
You could follow me on Facebook. Probably not good to friend request me because friend requesting me will make me kick somebody else off. Because I've already acquired Facebook's limit of 5,000 friends. I may not necessarily be friends with them, but through the film, everybody says, oh, okay, can I be your friend? Okay. Can I be your friend? Okay. Well, now I've amassed 5,000, and every time somebody new comes on, I say, okay, well, who don't I know? Click, unfriend. Just to let on somebody new. So I don't necessarily want to do that, but you can follow me. I have 3 pages, one for the film, which is Kumu Hina, one for my political platform, which is Hina Wong-Kalu, and my personal page, where I let all of my venting out most of the time, has Chinese characters on it. Yes, if you type in Hinaleimoana, Wong-Kalu, but then you see Chinese writing, that's me. So you can follow that page. You know, I don't necessarily want you to follow me or support me. I want you to think about what you're going to do. What will each and every one of you do towards this LGBT cause? So today you heard me say to you, no, I don't know if there's any LGBT in here, and it's really not my business. I don't feel that you should have to wear your genitalia on your forehead. Can you imagine that? Islam mayroon ba daw? O ihiwalay no ka ano lehe-lehe no nagpulahan. Oh, yes. It's not appropriate because the LGBT movement says, hi, I'm gay. So, what can you do? What do you do? Right? Just because you say, oh, I'm gay, or I'm lesbian, or I'm transgender, well, can you sing? Can you dance? Can you type? Can you, I don't know, whatever your skill or your talent is. And what you have between your legs. I'm sure that there are many of you in this room, you would think to yourself, it doesn't matter. If I said, okay, here, let's try this. All the kane in this room, please stand. Men, please stand. That's all the men we got? Come on, let's go, men. I didn't say anything else except biological male. Okay, everybody got a penis between their legs. Okay, all the penis between your legs, thank you, sit down. All the ones with vagina between your legs, stand up. Wahine, women, stand up. How would you guys feel? Okay. Thank you, sit down, now you know who you are. How did it feel for me to call out to you? Okay, if you have a penis between your legs, stand up. Why?
Identifying you based on something that doesn't matter.
Exactly. Irrelevant. Penis or vagina between, who cares? Jeez, what big deal is it? It serves a purpose, it has a function. Lets you go to the bathroom, it allows you to have children, and whatever enjoyments that come with that. Or however you want to do it. Ladies, did you feel comfortable by me saying, if you have a vagina between your legs, please stand? What for? To me, that's what the gay, the LGBT movement tends to do. It's a byproduct. It's not intended to do that, but it's a byproduct of it. And for all of the men who stood up, I don't know what you guys like. I don't know who you've done anything with, and it's not my business. Who cares? If you had any business going on, great. Get some more. Same with women. Enjoy. Enjoy safely. Be safe. Yes, because there is the threat of sexually transmitted diseases, infections, and all of these kind of things. You don't want that. Enjoy safely. It wasn't my place to call you out based on what you got between your legs, but that's what we tend to do to people when we say transgender. Are you a woman with a penis? Are you a man with a vagina? I don't get it. Think about it, everyone. Think. Does it really matter? Does having whatever genitalia you have, does it really determine whether you're a good person or not? No, it has nothing to do with whether you're a good person or not. Absolutely nothing. If I told all of the men that stood up, okay, you are all going to make $100,000 in the job that I'm going to give you, and then I told all the women, okay, you're going to make $50,000. Based on what? Well, you have a vagina. I'm going to give the penises $100,000. I'm going to give the vagina $50,000. Really? Right? Unfortunately, that's how it ends up sometimes. Now that sucks. So, I think I got my point across. It does not matter what our body entails. It does not matter who we want our body to be engaged with. There are other things more important than that. Okay? So, to finish up, you asked me the question, what can you do to support me? No. Don't support me. Support yourself and your circles to do other things for others. That's how you can support me. Because by saying that you support me, you will turn the focus back on me and put more responsibility on me to keep doing other things. I'll turn it back on all of you. You, in turn, go out. Maybe you might turn out to be more understanding to someone. Maybe you might turn out to be a better friend and listen to them more. Maybe you might, who knows? You might be the game changer for somebody else who needed an opportunity and you were in a position to create that opportunity. That's what I want you to do. If you want to know what I think, yeah, sure, follow me on social media. But I'd like each and every one of you to become your own mover, your own shaker, your own person who is responsible and not only capable, but responsible for your own element of social change. Create your reality. Don't sit there and just talk about it. Do something about it. That's my answer for you. Mahalo. And with that, mahalo for having me here.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. I've had a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone. Mahalo.
Aloha, Huaia kahaloala, Havehi mai Hinaleimoana, mai ko kuia kahala vaila, mahalo e na pua, mahalo e na pupunala ea, mahalo me ke aloha la. Mahalo me ke aloha la. Mahalo.